Welcome back to the Bourbon Note, everybody. I'm Ben. I got bourbon on the bar. We're live. Let's get into it. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Let's get some background going here real quick, and we'll get on with the bourbon and shenanigans. Okay, I see there's some people in the chat already. That's awesome. Before I get too far into this, or before I forget to address this, right up top, so now that this is a solo channel, I'm thinking about possibly changing the name, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. I'm thinking about Bourbon with Ben, the masculine maverick of Minnesota. Something I just totally came up with off the top of my... Oh, nope, never mind. Shredward already suggested it. Damn it. I thought that was mine. What's up, Shredward? I love the moniker there. Sugar Kitty is in the house. Got that going. Peter White is here. Let's see, get caught up here. Steve Joes is here. What's happening? Brian Vaughn, bike riding Brian Vaughn is here as well. So, all right, folks, tonight, I'm excited to do this. I'll try to manage to drink bourbon while somewhat, keeping the flow of things going here. What's up, Piper John? I've been lucky enough to score some Four Roses single barrel strengths. One of these I got, I think this one I got last November. These last two I have gotten within the last 3 weeks, and I actually saw another one and didn't buy it just because it's getting to be a bit much. So, plus it was at Total Wine and they wanted $120 for it. So I talk about all that in the review that I just filmed before hopping on this live here. So let's see, Shredward didn't realize the band broke up. At least we still have Dollar General Bill Burr. Yes, you do. And for the record, it wasn't a breakup. Where Greg and I are good. He's just ready to move on from the 3.5 years of yapping about bourbon on the internet. So there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys are sipping on. Somebody is going to end up sipping on all three of these at some point because I'm giving away a sample pack of all of these. Patreon subscribers are already in the drawing. If you guys want to join the drawing, $5 super chat. $5 gets you one entry. Otherwise, you can head over to Patreon and sign up there. And then you get to be in every single drawing of the month, no matter what tier you're at. So that's really the better deal for you. Just saying. All right, OG Brick throwing down the link to the Patreon. Thank you very, very much. I'm not going to just beat you guys over the head with Patreon pitches, but I do want to welcome our new Patreon, 4 new Patreon subscribers. We got Hatfield Barbecue, Professor Rusty J. Lugnuts, Ryan Manuel, and Richard Shostag. I'm sorry, Richard, if I butchered your name. That looks like a tough one to pronounce. So anyway... let me know what you guys are sipping on and what you're up to tonight. It's always good to have the back and forth. I'm sipping some Youngling to pregame. I'm guessing that's a Scotch. Peter White with the 1910. That's awesome. Let's see. I need Youngling. Is that what that is? In my life. Moosehead will have to do. Dave Renstrom. By the way, I'm using a monitor that's further away, so it's a little bit harder to read, so I really need this to be bigger.
That's what she said.
The first drop of the night. Bowman Brothers Small Batch, that's awesome. Owens Valley Distilling Company 4-grain whiskey, random I know, that's cool. Gonna crack open my OESO. Okay, what do I have here? I've got OBSQ, OESQ, and OESF. Brian, where did you get the OESO? Because, Brian, I know you're in Minnesota. Total Wine in Richfield has, I can't remember what it was. I've got a picture of it. Let me see real quick. Can send some folks over there if you want to pay the $120. Total Wine is starting to piss me off a little bit with how much they're overcharging for, anything that is even remotely, even Booker's. They're charging, $15 more than everybody else. OESF is the one that they have at Total Wine. 11-year banger. So if you live in Minnesota and you're interested. John Whitebush, currently blinding Clyde Mays SP versus Mac 10. Nice. I've actually got a couple of Clyde Mays mini bottles down here that I've been meaning to review forever. And yeah, I haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's see. Pronounce Yuengling. Okay, it's a Pennsylvania beer. America's oldest brewery. Oh, okay. I would have expected with the weird name that it was some sort of scotch. And Sugar Kitty has been known to throw down a scotch or two. I got it last year at Total Wine Minnetonka. Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what'd you pay for it? Because I think Total Wine in the last year has really jacked their prices up. Like, their prices are still good on normal bottles. But like I said, anything that even has any bit of a demand to it, they're just ridiculous on now. So they're actually starting to get pretty out of control. Ryan Frank is here. Ryan Schmitz is here. RD1 from Wilmer Cashwise. Nice. All right. Got some folks in the house. So what's the RD1 from Wilmer Cashwise? Is that like a single barrel? Or do they have like a... Because RD1 is a brand that I haven't explored yet, and I really want to. I just haven't gotten around to it because I keep running into stuff like this. And so it's just like... It's a good problem to have, but every time I go out and I say I'm not going to buy any more bourbon because I got to save up the bourbon budget for some of these bottles I want to review, I come across something like this, and it's like, well, you kind of got to buy it when you have the chance. May the Schwartz be with you. I love it.
He's an asshole, sir.
Hey, there's some...
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Some space balls for you, Shredword. I got the drops. All right. Well, let's get into talking about some of these Four Roses. By the way, again, I am giving away a sample pack of this tonight. So if you want to throw a $5 super chat in, that's an entry. Otherwise, if you're a member of the Patreon at any tier at all, you automatically get entries. So the $5 level at Patreon is 2 entries into every single drawing I do. So I'm doing like 3 of these a month. So for $5, you can get 2 entries into 3 drawings, or just 1 entry into this one tonight. It's up to you, but I would love it if you would hop on the Patreon. I'm going to be filming some more new bonus content. The other thing is, for the people that are in the chat that are on Patreon, I organized everything into collections now. So like all the behind the scenes stuff is all in one collection, so you don't have to scroll back through all the content to find the bonus content. Because also on Patreon, I release the videos a day early. Speaking of which, I got to do that. I release them a day early, and so the list of content gets quite long. And so now I've got them all divided up. Like when Greg and I used to film Casual Fridays in the garage, just us smoking cigars on a Friday night, those are all there in their own category. The blending videos are all there in their own category. So yeah, check that out. I'm making the Patreon much more streamlined, and I'm going to be adding a bunch of new stuff there coming soon. So the formula tends to drive the cost at Total Wine. I've seen them from 90 to 120. I paid 120. Okay, that's what this one was that they were looking for the other day. They were looking for 120 bucks for it. Having grown up in Europe, I'm not much of an American beer other than craft, but Yuengling is not half bad. Where'd you grow up in Europe, Piper John? I love it when they are combing the desert. That's a great movie. So good. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? John Weibush? Is that Weebush? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, John. I just found my first Four Roses barrel strength. It was from Cub Foods for $99. It's a 9-year, 3-month OBSK. Nice. Which Cub Foods was that? Pizza the Hut. Yes. Awesome. All right, let me get a little bit of water here. For those of you on Patreon, I forgot to post the video, tomorrow's video. So I will do that immediately after the live stream so you can watch it tonight. Tomorrow's video is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B524. Oakdale, okay. The strange and foreign place known as the East Metro. If you live on one side, like if you live in the West Metro, you don't know anything about the East Metro. I don't know if it works the other way, John, but like, you know, because if you live in the West Metro, you're going to go to the West Metro suburbs for all your suburb needs. So it's always kind of funny to get over to that side of town. Might as well be in a different state. Troy from Baker Drinks. Cheers, Ben and cheers, Ben. Cheers, chat. And you talked me into it. Congrats, John Matlick. You're the new. You're now a member of the Bourbon Note. Wait, is that congrats to John Matt? Oh, Oh, okay, nice. That's awesome. Piper John, did you just sign up? Let's see here. I'm assuming that Piper John is John Matlick, correct? Let me just hop over here and so I don't forget to add you to the list here. I'm going to add these as I go. All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much, John. I appreciate that very, very much. Some email from Patreon. Okay. Let's get into the tasting here. So the first one, I am going in ascending proof. These first two are pretty similar. 53.6 and 54.5. So we've got 107.2 and 109. But then this one is a banger. This one's 120.4. All of these are 11 years plus. 11 years 3 months, 11 years 4 months, 11 years 2 months. Interesting. So it looks like the OESF is 20% rye, 20% rye, and this one doesn't say. So, all right, this is a Liquor Boy store pick. This is a Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits, and this one here is just selected for Minnesota. I got this one at Costco. JT is in the house. All right, what's up, JT? Good to see you. John, I've heard of... okay, they're talking amongst themselves. All right. Well, okay, let's get into the first tasting of this one here. This is the OESF, and I'm not looking for a winner here. I just thought it'd be fun to taste through these and kind of see what the difference are. Bike Riding Brian Vaughn has this Liquor Boy store pick. It's a good one. Liquor Boy. There is a liquor store in St. Louis Park, Minnesota called Liquor Boy. It's a great store. I would definitely recommend checking it out. So here goes their Four Roses single barrel strength from last year. Cheers, everybody. Oh, God, so good. You just cannot go wrong with these. You cannot go wrong. By the way, if you guys do sign up for the Patreon tonight, again, I'm not trying to pitch this at you all night. Put it in the comments so I know, so I don't have to keep checking my phone. But again, any level will get you into the entry, not only for this, but every single drawing I do for the whole month. For however long you're subscribed. So, and there's some pretty killer bonus content. There's embarrassing bonus content that I didn't put on the internet, but I figured I'd put it behind the paywall. If I'm going to humiliate myself, I got to get some cheese out of it. All right, let's get into the second one here. OESQ. Aged 11 years, 4 months. I've heard of Liquor by the Lake. Sugar Kitty's getting wild in the chat tonight. I love it. Cheers, everybody. Still damn good. I don't know if it's quite as good as that first one. There's definitely some competition, but that's fantastic as well. First one just came across as a little more rich, a little more decadent, for lack of a better term. Actually, that's a baller term. I'm keeping it. Decadent. It was a little more decadent. All right, let's get into the... I'm just going to taste these real quick, and then we'll talk about them and get into some shenanigans here. Oh, man, these are all... They're all similar enough, but they all have kind of just their own little kind of angle, I guess. Hey, there are a few famous picks from those stores. It's not like we're breaking new ground. Man. A little bit of, I don't know if I said this in the review. If I did, it's consistent. On this last one, I haven't tasted it yet, but a little bit of that zebra cake on the nose. You guys remember zebra cakes? We've talked about it before. Let's see. I'm in the 4R police to keep you honest. Nice. Paul Grace. I'm assuming that means you're in the Four Roses police. Is that what we're talking about here? Yeah, there's a little zebra cake on this one that I'm not getting on the other ones. There's a slight hint of mint on these too, a little bit, just a tad, which I don't normally get. All right, okay, Paul, we're glad to have you patrolling. Cheers. Masterclass private selections. Is that a thing that I don't know about? Are you talking about this as a masterclass in private selections? Because I'm killing it. I got Little Daddy. There's 0 cakes. Sugar Kitty with the licks. Lick the like the lick. It won't give you cat scratch fever as Sugar Kitty says. Let's see. OESK is my second favorite formula. OESO is the best in my opinion. Jerry Internet, what's up? That's my son-in-law. Zebra cakes are goddamn amazing. Well, now that I know that, Jared, I'll keep some on hand for when you come over to hang out. Paul Grace. Oh, well, thank you, Paul. That's awesome. I'm glad I'm putting on a master class here because I figure for the most part, now that I'm doing this solo, this is just going to be a bumbling mess until I get the hang of it, and then it's just going to be slightly less of a bumbling mess, but still a bumbling mess nonetheless. Look at that. Rhyme. Boom. All right, I'm going to go backwards through these. See, this is where I need Greg here to make the backwards joke. That you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is just outstanding. So for those of you that don't know, did I mention that Jared is my son-in-law? Did I say that when I responded to his comment? But zebra cakes are no cosmic brownies. Yeah, those are pretty damn good. And don't get me started on tasty cakes, butterscotch. What are those? The cosmic brownies are pretty baller. Dude, we're 20 minutes, 17 minutes into this. We're already on junk food. I love it. Non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang is here. Let's, do we have the non-bike riding Dave? There we go. I got a duck. There we go. There's non-bike riding Dave's logo. Let's see. Paul Grace, the 10 recipes are so much fun to try and compare against each other. I've gravitated to the F and the QU strains recently. So this is interesting because, hold on a second. What did Troy say? Just cracked open a Doc Swinson Session Blend. Damn solid whiskey. Troy, I have not had anything from Doc Swinson's that I don't like. That's just that's just a spoiler brand. I feel like I've been meaning to do a whole video on Doc Swinson's actually, just because I feel like they're kind of a spoiler brand in the sense that they're sourcing MGP juice, but they're doing all kinds of cool blending and cool finishing, and they still keep most of their stuff $70 to $80 or less. Whereas a lot of other places tend to, get a little wild with the cost of it. Rick Moreland, what's happening? Here's the most important information of the night, tastycake.com. Crumpets. Yeah, I'm going to have to, when I'm done with this Sugar Kitty, I'm going to go back into the chat and look that up. Hostess coffee cakes are my newfound favorite. Dude, we used to have coffee cakes all the time in my house. Are you talking about the little individually wrapped ones or the ones you can actually get in a small pan? We used to have both, but a coffee cake with a little melted butter on it, warmed up. Oh, forget about it. Now I don't even want this bourbon anymore. I just want junk food. I mean, I'm kidding. I always want bourbon, but you get what I'm saying. I would be hard-pressed to pick a winner between the three of these. Drake's Cakes. OG Brick 420S Individual. Okay. I love it. This first one, I got to tell you. There's something really special about this first one, this Liquor Boy pick. This is the lowest proof out of the three of them. It's pretty much the same as this one. It's not different by much, but this one's over 120. But I gotta tell you, this Liquor Boy pick is damn good. You want those bourbons. All right. We got a nice full chat here. That's awesome. It's good to see everybody hanging out tonight. Keeping me company. Liquor store had black whiskey small batch on clearance, so I picked up another bottle. Black whiskey? What's that? Non-bike riding Dave, what information do you have on that? Maybe just some Jim Beam Black? I doubt that's what that is. Troy, I meant to ask you, so the Session Blend, can you text me a picture of that bottle real quick? I want to see if it's the same thing. Because there's a store in Minnesota up in Melrose, Spirits Liquor, we talk about them all the time. They've got a bunch of new Doc Swinson's bottles. It's like a black and white label. And there's like 3 or 4 different ones, and they all have, like one of them's a rye that's finished in something, and then they're like all different wine finish barrels. They look super interesting. So Troy, if you wouldn't mind, if you have the bottle handy, text me a picture of it real quick, just so I can see if that's one I think you're talking about. Check the tier on the front of the bottle. The higher number tiers are generally higher proof, more heat. All right, let's see. Warehouse LW, UN, Hi UN, that's from Revenge of the Nerds, and VW. The VW is the lowest proof one. Am I doing this right? Let me know, Paul. Oh, so by the way, I wanted to check on this one. So the OESQ, that's the one I reviewed just before. Floral, rose petal, and acacia banana, refreshing medium body. Okay, I would agree with that. I'm not really getting the banana out of it, but. All right, Blazing Bourbon, Spirits is legit. Blazing Bourbon, are you in Minnesota? I mean, I know of you because from commenting on the videos and stuff, and I didn't know that you were a Minnesota viewer. Or maybe you're just, North Dakota or something like that, and you come down to check out Spirits. Spirits should be a Minnesota tourist destination for sure, if you're into bourbon. All right, I got to even these out a little bit because obviously we all know where this is heading. Air pie. Way to keep it clean, OG Brick. No, Don Michael's Black Whiskey, distilled in Peru. It's a mash bill of Andes Mountains, Andean black corn, malted wheat, and malted barley aged in Kelvin casks. Nice. That's awesome. North Dakota, I get to Minnesota from time to time. Okay, sweet, I called that. Well, I didn't call it, but I mean, I do know a couple other people that come from North Dakota up to that area. Okay, Troy sent me the picture of this bottle. Okay, that is not the one I'm thinking of. There's a new series out, and it's like this cool black and white label, and each one of them is a different wine finish. Let's see. So it's just this is just an interesting blend. So it's not finished. Bottled in small batches. 90 proofer. That's awesome. It's good when you can find a good, like a lower proof 90 proof bourbon that actually has enough flavor to enjoy it, so then you can sit and have a few. Tonight, I did a review of Larceny Small Batch, just the regular old Larceny. Kind of threw that out there because once in a while I like to throw some content out there for beginners that are looking for reviews on bottles like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Thomas Anderson from Mid-Michigan. Cheers, Thomas. The Liquor Boy bottle should be QN. Oh, no, I must have a different one than you, Brian. I've got, let's see. I've got VW161Q. 3 is the tier. I'm not seeing where the tiers are. What am I missing here? Is this supposed to have like tiers on it? I don't see it. Let me look at these again. Riveting content when I'm sitting here trying to read a bottle. Yeah, I don't see anything about tiers. Just says alcohol, warehouse number, and barrel number. But this is the first one I ever picked up. I picked this up last November. People chase tier 5 and 6 for higher proof, but often 1 and 2 are killers. Part of the barrel number. Okay, like Brian explained. Okay, I must have missed that. I'm sorry, Brian. Let's see, Peter White, just saw that bottle in Alberta. 71 Canadian, looks interesting. So the tier is part of the barrel number. So 16 would be the tier on this, or 1Q, or would 1 be the 3 1H, 76 4H. This review is driving me to tears. Yeah, I'm boring the hell out of you guys. Okay, let's get into the blend. Every one of these is amazing. I don't think I can pick a winner, honestly. 1 is the tier, okay. So let's get into the blend here. Sorry, I'll shut up now. Hell no, Paul. Keep the comments coming. I love it. Tier equals floor. I don't know. I would assume, because Paul had mentioned something about higher up, higher heat. So you would think the floor, the higher up, the higher heat, you would get higher heat up there. Makes sense. I got to tell you, this blend smells killer. Oh yeah, Paul, we blend every single time. If there's more than one bourbon on the bar, we blend. Mike Meyer, what's happening? Did you find those in Minnesota? Never seen one before. Yes, so this one I got in Liquor Boy in St. Louis Park last November. This one I got at Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits in Winona, Minnesota. So, I mean, you're down in like Rosemount, so that's probably not terribly far if you want. I literally just got this on Saturday, and they had a couple of them. This one I got at Costco's grand opening. I just stopped by there. They don't have any more of these. But if you're willing to pay the $120, Mike, Total Wine in Richfield has a few cases of a store pick. It's the, let me take a look here again. The OESF, 11 years, 1 month. I don't have a proof on that, but. So if you're willing to pay the $120, they do have one there. Brian Vaughn with the Patreon subscription. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Bike Riding Brian Vaughn will be your name in the Patreon drawings and at the end of the videos. So I am, please bear with me because I am adding the new Patreon subscribers as I go here. Just because I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody. So let me just add Brian VA. Okay, so I think I've got this all set. Okay. Well, this is going to be awesome. Okay, hold on. Now I opened up 2 Word documents here. I am so completely inept when it comes to... I just open up a new text document. Every time I need to have any sort of a text deal here. Okay, thank you for your patience on that. Sorry that was boring. But again, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Stephen L., I just stumbled on your channel. I'm from Buffalo also. Oh, really? That's awesome, Stephen. Sweet. Well, I'm happy to have you along here. Were you at the Hayes Public House? Gentleman's Night by any chance? That was a couple weeks ago. Piper John, not seeing it online in Alberta. Okay, they're talking about a bottle there. Okay, let's see. OESF at 11 years is easily worth $120. Okay, so Mike, there you go. I blew the bourbon budget and then some. Yeah, I saw it and I was tempted, but I had to pass. And plus, the other thing is I've got stuff piling up here. I've got some samples that I need to get to. And like I said, it's a good problem to have, but I keep running into great bottles. I ran into a couple of these. The Maker's Mark, the new 2024 limited edition, the Heart Release. And so I did purchase one and a backup. I haven't opened either one of them yet, so I haven't reviewed it yet, but I'm getting around to that. So I don't know. Do I need to have 2 on the shelf, or do I like raffle off a bottle of it or something? Let me know what you guys think. Would you join a raffle for a bottle of the Maker's Mark? Stephen L. had to work that night. Wish I could have made it. Well, next time, Stephen. But I'm glad you stumbled on the channel. That's great. So I hope you I hope you're along for the ride here. It's a weird time to stumble on the channel because Greg, my partner in crime on this for the last 3.5 years, just retired from the bourbon review game, and so now this is just me trying to figure out how to do solo content without making too much of an ass of myself and boring you guys to tears. Let's see. The heart release is fantastic. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. Definitely not an outrageous price at all, but the higher tiers can be silly money on secondary. So so just to get this right, so the first number in the barrel number is the tier. Am I correct on that? Nice score on the Maker's Mark heart release. Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. I came across another one at a store and I was just like, well, I'll buy it just in case. I really want to keep a backup, and if nothing else, you know, maybe I'll do a live stream raffle for a bottle of it. We'll see. Let's see. I would definitely like to get that Maker's Mark if you decide to raffle, trade, sell. All right. I don't think you can go wrong with a Maker's Mark product at cask strength. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think Maker's Mark is like, I think they're starting to get a little more respect than they used to. A lot of people used to, like when I first got into bourbon, I feel like I remember a lot of people just kind of shying away from the Maker's product. But I think anything they do at cask strength, you know, just the regular Maker's Mark cask strength is great. Any of the private selects, 46 cask strength. So I'm actually going to do, I have a little bit of the Maker's Mark cellar aged left. That was sent to us by Mikey Likey Whiskey, so thank you, Mike, for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare that to a few other regular Maker's Mark releases and just kind of get an idea of, because I remember in that review I had kind of said it, just tasting that kind of highlighted to me how good Maker's at cask strength is, no matter how much it's aged. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Myron over at Bourbon Drop actually beat me to that, so go check out his video. It's a good one. Let's see, subscribe now, watch some of your whiskey views, fun to see a few stores in the area, and learn a couple new ones. All right, Steven, well, hey, I'm happy to help. That's why I put those videos out there. Oh, okay, so here we go, how to read a single barrel label. Maker's Mark heart release is great, fun stuff. It's similar in profile to the BRTO2 from 2022. Better than BEP from last year. Okay, that BEP was one of Greg's favorite bottles. I think he bunkered a couple of those, actually. So if I open up this link to the... I can't actually open up this link. Steve Joes, I did the same thing. Bought one for the library and found another one. To open immediately, looking forward to tasting the heart release. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to have a review of that hopefully soon. Like I said, tomorrow I've got Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B524. I do have a review of this that I literally filmed like 10 minutes before going live, just so I could get the review done, get like a fresh perspective, but then also still do this flight here. So anyway, the blend. Oh, that blend is pretty damn good. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna make this a 4 sample giveaway. You're gonna get a sample of each one of these bottles and a sample of the blend. So I'll do a ½ ounce of each just to make the math even. So you're gonna get, if you're in the drawing for the samples tonight, anyone on Patreon is already included in the drawing, also included in every single drawing I do every month, which is probably gonna be like usually 3. And you get entries depending on what your level of Patreon membership is. So here, I'll throw this info up here. But if you want to throw $5 in the super chat for an entry into this raffle, you can also do that. Brian, thanks for posting that link. Appreciate it. Maker's 46 and the stave finishing are, let's see. Maker's 46 and the stave finishing are another thing. So popular they discontinued the 46 cask. They discontinued the 46 cask strength? When did they do that? I just saw a bunch of new bottles with the new label come out with that. Interesting. John, sipping on Maker's Mark cask strength 2023-03 while watching. It's solid. Dr. Robert. Hey, Dr. Robert, how are you? Hangin' AZ is here. What's up, Hangin'? So anyway, I'm changing this up. Along with all three of these, you're also going to get a 50-50-50 blend of the three of them because I think that this blend is pretty damn solid. I'm not going to lie. This is really good. So again, check out the Patreon if you want to be included in the drawing or throw in the super chat. Here's the Patreon levels. These are the different levels of however many entries you get into the raffle. Peter White, what's happening? Peter White's been here since the beginning. Yeah, this is really good. I find doing these blends, so Paul, you had commented earlier to not blend these. So Paul, if you're new to the channel, I don't know if you are or not, anytime there's more than one bourbon on the bar, doing a flight or anything like that, there's always a blend at the end. You always got to blend. Piper John in with another super chat and subscribe to the Patreon tonight. Thank you very, very much. You know what? I'm going to put your... What do you want your name on here to be? Piper John or John Matlick? You let me know. And I'll act accordingly. Although I already do have it as John Matlick for tonight. The tier position is a fun thing to check out. There's also on the 100 proof single barrels, and the high tiers on the 100 proofs really makes a difference. Okay, so again, I know you sent me the link. So is the tier, so it says barrel number 16-1Q. So the one, I think you said, Brian, would have been, so on this one, the 3-1H, the one would be the tier in that. And the 76-4H, the 4 would be the tier, correct? We're all learning together. And I learn very slowly. Especially when I'm drinking barrel-proof whiskey. You know what, I gotta tell you, speaking of the 100 proof Four Roses single barrels, around here you can get those at Sam's Club and Costco for like $39.99, $40, whatever. I don't think you can go wrong with those. I mean, for the $40, that's just a great general, I mean, I've never had a bad one. General 100 proof sipper that, yeah, like I said, I don't think you can go wrong with it. Am I wrong on that? Oh, by the way, I'm not going to show my cards on this one yet because the video comes out tomorrow. Has anybody in the chat had Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B524? Learning is more fun while drinking. Steve Joes, I am 100% on board with that. Because I'm really interested in the comments that I'm going to get on this video tomorrow. I think it was $50 to $55 sitting next to a Heaven Hill bottled and bond for the same price. At the same price, if I had to get one of those two, I'm going with the Four Roses. I did not think that the Heaven Hill bottled and bond was swamp water like our friend Sean over at Whiskey Wars and Mash and Metal, but I don't know. I think you could do better for that price for sure. Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiast in the house. What's going on? Brian, Deb, Brian or Deb, Brian and Deb, who's ever in the chat here at the keyboard. Troy from Baker Drinks, B524. Yes, I did watch your video on that after I did my review. So, Blazing Bourbon B523 is pretty good. I do need to remind myself to get that posted on Patreon. Hatfield Barbecue, what's happening? How are you doing, man? Hatfield, I'm glad you showed up in the chat. I was hoping you would because I've got your samples here still to get to. I keep running into bourbons that I'm buying that are kind of time sensitive in a way. Like I reviewed this one today. It comes out probably maybe on Monday. Just so I could do this flight tonight. I got Elijah Craig B524, which I'm already late on. And then I got to do this Maker's Mark 2024 release. So those are time sensitive, so I have not forgotten about your samples. I'm actually super excited to get into your samples and get those released because especially that Ben Holiday, because I've been really, really curious about that one. So just know that I have not forgotten about your samples. I just keep meaning to review them, and then I find a bottle that's, whenever there's a bottle that comes out that's kind of like a new release or like a dated release, I always try to get that video out sooner than later. Sounds like a good problem to have. I'm doing good. Can't wait to see your thoughts on the Jepson. Yes, that's the other one. Because I know of a couple places that have those Jepson store pick, and I had the Buffalo Municipal Liquor Store pick. That's really good. And then the other Jepsons that I had was the cigar blend from Storytime Distillery, and that was amazing. Cognac finished. It was excellent. Might grab up the Four Roses. We'll be by the store again tomorrow then. Heaven Hill just seems overpriced. I would agree that Heaven Hill is overpriced at $50. I'm not going $50 for that. There's too many other things that you can... let's see. Sounds like mine is an OZ Tyler barrel from Kentucky. Nice. I don't know if I know what that means. Does it say OZ? Is that what that says? I'm using a monitor that's further away tonight, so. All right. Let's check this out real quick. Thank you so much, you guys, for subscribing to the Patreon. 6 new subscriptions in the last week. That is amazing. That helps out so much. This channel operates definitely at a net loss for sure. Anybody out there who has a channel can relate. But just having you guys on there, plus it makes me feel a little bit better about doing this. So that's worth a lot to me. There's going to be more bonus content coming. I do have all the bonus content separated, so it's easy to find now. So if you go onto the app, like on your phone, you'll have the feed, and then next to it, it says collections. Just click on there, and all these different things are broken down. So I have ECBP B522 and B523. Both are very good. Stephen L., I agree with you. The B523 is good, and that one, you can go anywhere from in like a hour radius of Buffalo and probably find 10 liquor stores that have a whole shelf full of it. And I just don't get it. That was the first one that came out that everybody kind of lost their minds about because it wasn't 12-year age stated. And so, I don't know, I think for some reason that one just got way worse of a rap than it deserved. So, glad to hear you like it. Oh, this stupid thing. I've tried Four Roses samples but never owned a bottle. I hadn't until November, and then I owned this one, and these two I got in the last month. Binoculars would be a great prop. That's probably true. I think I actually do have some reading glasses over here that have lights on them that shine. See, OZ Tyler, is that OZ Tyler is what turned into Green River. Jepson's basically got old Green River barrels, and that's the Jepsons I have. Nice. I think I've only had one thing from Green River. I can't remember what it was. Is Wheel Horse from Green River? Somebody let me know if you have that information. Is Wheel Horse a Green River product? I have half the recipes foolishly passed on OESO because spending is crazy. Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, that's the thing. OESQ, OESF, OBSQ. Okay. That's the thing. I mean, I passed on that bottle the other day just because, you get to a point. It's you spend so much money on bourbon. Let's see. Yes, I have an EC B524 open right now. Talked into purchasing, but glad I did. Very nice. You won't be disappointed. Well, Steve, you're going to have to check out my video on it. Hold on a second. Let's do this. Just so I don't forget, this is going to be riveting content for you guys. Let's throw this up there on the Patreon as we speak. So, copy. Bam. So for those of you that get this video on the Patreon, it's not going to have the title just because I'm in a hurry here. EC BPB 523. there you go. Now everyone on Patreon's got tomorrow's video. Let's see. Or maybe you will. Ben, I have been getting into rye quite a bit lately. Current favorite being a Total Wine pick from Driftless Glen. You know what? I've never had a Driftless Glen product, I don't think. I've got a Woodinville rye from Baker Drinks here that I've been meaning to get around to. When I had to rearrange all this stuff, I kind of lost some of my samples in the mix. I had them kind of organized as to, which ones I had coming up that I wanted to review. And then I kind of screwed that up. So I actually rearranged them not that long ago. So now I've got some more samples to get to. But again, good problem to have. I keep finding interesting bottles. Let's see. So would you go small batch, select, or single barrel for the same price? I would probably go small batch select on that. At 104 proof, you get the extra 4 proof points. Probably doesn't make a huge difference. But I think the small batch select, if I remember correctly, is like a blend of all 10 recipes. And it's really good. As a matter of fact, I'm empty here, so why don't I keep the Four Roses train going and get some small batch select. It's within reach on the bar here. Let's see here. Okay, get a little water, clear the palate here. Yep, small batch select 104 proof, yep. I saw ECBP dropped at 1010 Washington, but I didn't have time to run down there. Was it the B524, okay. I'm starting to be of the opinion, if you watch Bourbon School, Brian talks about this quite a bit, and I tend to kind of agree that a lot of the Elijah Craig barrel proof single barrels, the private barrels, are actually better than a lot of the Elijah Craig barrel proof, the A, B, and C releases. And luckily in Minnesota, I see Elijah Craig private barrel strengths or barrel proofs quite a bit. I mean, you do not have to hunt very long to find one. And so I think I kind of want to keep getting the ABC releases just because to have the content and do a review of it. But honestly, if I didn't have a channel and I was just going to buy Elijah Craig barrel proofs, I might lean a little bit more towards the private barrels. I just don't buy them that often because that's one thing about having a channel is it does kind of dictate the bourbon that I buy just because I do want to get content out of it. If I'm going to spend the money, I want to get some content out of it. So like, I need to get some more Knob Creek single barrels. They don't really have a ton of value for content, so they get kind of put on the back burner because it's like, okay, I've got the $60, I'm going to go out and buy one of those. And then I see some other $60 bottle that I've never reviewed. I end up buying that. And so sometimes I end up passing on these bottles that are regularly available that I kind of take for granted, admittedly, in exchange for buying stuff to get content out of it. So I think at some point here, maybe a few months from now, I do want to do a bourbon hunting video where I go out and just go bourbon bargain hunting, where it's like, I'm not buying this stuff for content. I'm not buying it to review it. If I get a review out of it, great. If it makes its way into a video, great. But my intent is just to go buy bottles that I want to restock on the shelf, and I'm going to look for them at bargain prices. Because I do know of a few stores that tend to carry some pretty good deals on killer bourbons. So I do want to make a video of that. All right, I'm a little behind on the comments. I have an OBSK 10.8 year and an OESK 14 year. Jeez. That's it for those single barrels. Blend of like 6 different recipes, I believe. Paul says it makes a big difference. I'm assuming you're referring to the 4 proof points. The yellow tan label Four Roses is the only product that includes all 10 recipes. The yellow tan label Four Roses. Oh, so you mean like the regular Four Roses has all 10? That's interesting. So this one is like 6 different recipes? It doesn't say on here. Let me get around to actually sipping on this. Definitely like the higher proof batches. I have one close to 100 that's weak. Okay, hold on a second. That's a dangerous statement about ECBP versus the private barrels. I'm telling you, man, the private barrels, they're so good. And they're so readily available in Minnesota that I think that's one of those ones we're just very lucky with. Usually 8-9 year age statement these days. That's true, but I find, like, so I have one that's 9 and one that's 8. And they're both outstanding. That's why I don't freak out when the ABC batches don't have the 12-year age statement. It's like, this one's only 11 years and 2 months. And everybody just freaks out about it and leaves them sitting on the shelf, which is fine. Leaves more for the rest of us, but I felt that way on Booker's. I don't think I'll buy another till I kill my current one. I feel you on that. Now that they're $100, I'll buy them if I see them at like Sam's Club or something for the $86 or whatever. Again, some of that is just for content. So I figure they used to be 75 around here. I'd rather they be 75, but the 86, I'll pay the extra $10 to get the content out of it. No less than 20 EC private barrel. Okay, Paul, then I will take your word for it because I've only got a couple. All over Maryland, Virginia, and DC. Okay, so you probably know more about this than I do, but I would encourage you to do a blind flight of a few of those and kind of see what, or do a few blinds since you got so many of them, and see what comes out on top. Hangin' AZ says Knob Creek picks are the best value out there. Hangin', I am inclined to agree with you on that. I mean, some places sell those for $49.99 in Minnesota, which is ridiculous. Let's see here. They probably pull exceptional ECVP barrels and batch the rest and try to get a certain profile. That's probably true. Committing to 4 bottles a year at that price is asking a lot. At which price? Are you talking about the Bookers? I have KC Private Barrels from Buffalo Wine and Spirits from this year, Costco and Cash Wise. If you want to try samples, absolutely, I would love that. Let's see. Dirty RC Bar, Rick is here. What's going on, Rick? Good to see you. KC is a solid value. You know, my bottle on my bar, you know, everybody's got that one bottle that they're afraid to open because you just never want it to go away. And I don't believe in not opening your bottles. The only reason I haven't opened this is because I got 2 of them, and so I killed one bottle. But this is my last one. It's a Knob Creek single barrel that's like just shy of 15-year age stated, and it's amazing. And I just by a fluke ended up getting both bottles for $40 each. Jeff Castle, what's happening, Jeff? Good to see you. And so I have had so many special occasions come by since I purchased that bottle, and then I just forget to open it on a special occasion, you know? I became a grandfather in December. That's like the biggest special occasion ever, and I just didn't even think to open the bottle. Probably had to pour of old granddad just to celebrate. But so yeah, I'm going to get around to that one because I'm starting to get of the opinion that, you know what, don't wait for a special occasion. Just being alive is a special occasion enough. So anyway, yeah, I'll get around to that one soon. Maybe do a video on it. I still have not gotten around to this, by the way. I'm yapping and checking in with the chat here. Can a wrench drop the link to the Dirty RC bar? Looking at you, Hayne. Yes, drop a link to Dirty RC and Baker Drinks and Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts all in the chat tonight. All right, let's get just a little pour of this going on before we get out of here. Cheech Ardolino. Cheech, I'm sorry, I cannot read your last name from this far away. A-R-D and the chat's moving. L-I-R. Ardolino, I think that's it. All right, you guys have seen me make a fool of myself trying to read small letters from across the room. Let's get into a little pour of the small batch select here, folks. Thank you guys all very, very much for joining. And before I get out of here, of course, I have to do the lottery. So I'm going to get this queued up. Talk amongst yourselves for just a second here. So I'm just adding the new Patreon subscribers to the wheel here. So please bear with me. I'm sorry this is kind of boring for a second here, but I don't have anybody monitoring this for me, so I have to add these myself manually, and I definitely don't want to forget. Okay, so we've got... So I have the new members, and then 2 new members tonight, which is awesome. So thank you very, very much. John Matlick, Brian Vaughn. I already have Richard in there. Okay, so we are good. Let me get these new names into the wheel here. Okay. So here we go, folks. Let me share the screen. So again, this is for a sample of each one of these 4 roses and a sample of the blend of all 3. So I'll do a half ounce, half ounce, half ounce. So if it doesn't fill up the whole bottle, and by the way, these are legit liquor store bottles, like mini bottles. So it's like just under 2 ounces, over 1.5 ounces. So let's see here. Starred. Okay. So I think we've got everybody who wants to be in the drawing. So let's get into it. Let me share the screen here. And by the way, folks, last week's winner only had 1 entry into the wheel. So, I mean, you can definitely win on just one simple entry. Okay, so how am I doing this? Hold on a second here. Present, share screen, share window. Okay, I'm so bad at this. Okay, why is this? Okay, and to stage. So if I go to that, can you guys see the wheel? I'm such an idiot when it comes to this. I probably should at some point actually learn how to do this. So if I go to that, can you guys see the wheel? Okay, yep, it looks like you guys can see the wheel. So I have to have this window up full screen in order to use it. So it looks like you guys can see it. All right, so I'm going to shuffle these up a little bit just so you guys can see that I am shuffling them. All right, let's get into it, folks. Let's see who is going to win the samples for tonight. And here we go. Bad Axe Bourbon. Bobby winning the samples.
Whoa, yeah.
There's Bobby right there. All right, well, Bobby is not in the chat, but I will send him a message. By the way, that's the other thing. If you do subscribe to the Patreon, so you get entries into every single live stream I do, you don't have to be present in the live stream. So it's a set it and forget it sort of model. So if you want to hop on the Patreon, you'll be included in every single live stream for whatever months you're in the Patreon. The rich get richer. Bobby runs a channel. I guarantee you, he's losing his ass on running a channel, just like the rest of us. I can accept it on his behalf. I bet you can, Rick. Here, I'm going to send Bobby a text message right now, just for the fun of it here. Really, this is just me name dropping that I have Bobby's phone number. You know how, like, when you have a famous friend? Patreon sample giveaway. There. Note sent to Bad Axe Bobby. Again, I just really wanted to name drop. I feel cool having Bobby's home phone number. Send them to me and I'll send them to him. I bet you will, Hatfield. Don't microwave her drinks, bake her drink. Oh, Dirty RC Bar, you're too late. Well, tell you what, Rick, I'm going to put you in for the next drawing. So I'm going to boot up the Word document here, Rick. And I will keep you in for the next drawing for that super chat. So thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate that. Save. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Rick. Awesome. So this Four Roses Small Batch Select is really good. If you send Bobby nudes, make sure they are tasteful. If I send nudes, they are going to be anything but tasteful. I can guarantee you that. Yep, that's good stuff. Can't go wrong. All right, folks, that's been 1 hour. We've got the drawing in the bag. Again, if you want to be part of every single drawing I do, every month that you're signed up, it's just one subscription to the Patreon. You get bonus content, all kinds of stuff. Go subscribe to Bad Axe Bourbon. Go subscribe to Dirty RC Bar. Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts. Good Lord. Okay. No more of this. Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts. Baker Drinks. Go check out all these great channels. Hit the like button on your way out. Yes, OG Brick. Thank you for that. Don't be an axe hole. Check out Bad Axe Bourbon. I love it. All right, folks. Thank you very, very much for joining tonight. Having you guys here definitely makes it less awkward for me and kind of helps me adjust to the new solo content here, having you guys to kind of banter back and forth with. Going to get some guests lined up in the future here. I just got to get my schedule set with the live streams. Upcoming in talks with Baker Drinks right now about doing our trash pallet challenge. So we'll pick a date for that. So that'll be coming up soon. Again, go check out the Patreon if you want to be included in all these giveaways. Probably usually 3 a month, and get some bonus content there. So anyway, thank you guys very, very much. Thanks for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next